finally got an auto start on my truck. It's really nice to have for sure. Well, good morning guys, and welcome back to the Arm Septic Alaska Family Business YouTube channel. If you're new, welcome. If you're not new, welcome. It is an absolutely beautiful, gorgeous June morning here in Alaska. I mean, what can you say? It is just unreal, beautiful. It's been in the high 70s and 80s here the last couple of days, which is just ripping hot for Alaska. I mean, late spring in Alaska, that is just scorching hot. Our choke cherry blossoms are exploding. The apple tree flowers are popping. It just smells ridiculous around here. So I'm sorry, but I'm also not sorry that we haven't been posting a lot lately. We've been really busy with family stuff, having a good time, and also just taking a little bit of private time to take care of some things. The kids had a graduation service. Samuel had to go to the doctor for a deep knee puncture. We had a big end of school field trip that Mariah and I helped out with. Kids finished their final basketball season games. They had a big Fast and Furious service job out of town that we took care of and got back. By the way, coming to you in a later episode. Watch for that. So today I'm going to be visiting Big Lake, Alaska. I'm going to be completing a septic design for an amazing customer of ours. But before I head out there, I want to show you what Isaiah's been up to here in the laydown yard. So some of you have been asking why our equipment looks so good. Does it live in a garage or live in a shop? I'm going to show you today why our things around here look so good. So Isaiah's taken a few days to clean, degrease, wash and wax each of our pieces of equipment, and hasn't he done a great job? All right, well, thanks for taking a peek at that. Let's head to Big Lake. I am so pumped for this summer. I cannot even tell you. It is so beautiful out. So excited for more hiking. That's totally my jam if you didn't already know. Mountaintops, that's where I'd like to be. If I could live up there all the time, that's where I'd be hanging out. So Big Lake's actually known as the playground of South Central Alaska. It's located just over on the other side of the inlet from us, and it sits in the Mat-Su Valley, kind of the northwestern edge of the Matanuska-Susitna Valley. Now, it's a really cool area. It's a network of lakes, a large group of lakes that's mostly centered around a larger lake called Big Lake. Now these lakes, or these group of lakes, are actually spread out over a pretty good size area. And these lakes are the home of lots of water sports in the summertime and a whole lot of winter sports in the wintertime. Now one interesting thing is in the wintertime, when these lakes freeze over really hard, they actually go out and plow a network of roads and highways through all of these lakes. And then those roads serve, obviously, for all of the homeowners and cabin owners out in those areas to access their properties that are normally waterlogged, actually, and they wouldn't otherwise be able to access them except for boat in the summertime. Now, as a contractor, I'm automatically thinking for some of those remote cabins that don't have road access, in the wintertime seems like a great time to move excavators out there and get some work done on those ice roads that you normally wouldn't be able to do during the summertime. Man, I gotta tell you guys, the snow is melting so fast right now. Unreal. Just a couple weeks ago, these mountains were just loaded with snow, and now they're starting to retreat. That snowpack's retreating up the mountains pretty quick. Generally speaking, our local mountains that run from sea level up to 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 foot, they'll typically lose most of their snow during the summer season. Obviously, the higher peaks that are 6, 7, 8,000 foot and higher. They'll hold some snow pretty late in the year, and some of them even, obviously Denali, Mount McKinley, if you will, it'll hold snow all year long. So some interesting things that, for me, makes our local mountains and whatnot here in Alaska fascinating, and some of the things that separates them from other mountains that you may be familiar with, like the Rockies or whatnot. From a geological perspective, my understanding is that a lot of our mountains here in Alaska are actually fairly young mountains, meaning that they've been shaped by the glaciers and carved and smashed and ground up somewhat recently, in perspective or in relation to some of the other mountain ranges in the world. Another thing that makes our mountains just so extravagant is the placement of those mountains and their elevation. So, for instance, here in local South Central Alaska, I'm currently driving right at sea level. A lot of our highways are, sea level to 1,000 foot, something like that. But then, right on the edge of that sea level, there's several mountain ranges that actually encompass South Central Alaska or most of our larger cities. And those mountains literally hug right up, darn near touching the ocean. So you have sea level going right up to 5,000 foot peaks, like right now. I mean, these mountains, literally, you're going from like flat to just this aggressive 100+% slope on some of these mountains. So it truly is awe-inspiring to be in here, because no matter what you're doing in South Central Alaska, you're literally just facing mountains almost 360 degrees that are just totally magnificent. Obviously, what comes with that is access to those mountains. In just about any area of South Central Alaska, I can hop on a dirt road and be up over 1,000 foot, 1,500, 2,000 foot on some of these roads, literally within 30 minutes or less of downtown Anchorage, Eagle River, Chugiak, Matsu Valley. And that's a pretty cool deal. A lot of other towns in the lower 48, like in some of the ski towns in Colorado, for example, these towns are situated up in the mountains. I mean, which is really cool. There's no doubt about that. But again, here in South Central, you have this violent contrast, if you will, of I'm on the ocean and I'm looking at 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 foot mountains right here that I can get access into right now. It's pretty cool. I've spent a little bit of time in some flatland, Midwest, Texas, etc., etc. Being that I've spent 37 years of my life here, it's like you take away the mountains and like my sense of direction, my compass, my internal compass is just gone. It's like, gotta rely on GPS. Man, give me some mountains. Mountains, please, and yes, please. Alright, so here we are at this beautiful location here in Big Lake, Alaska for amazing customers. We're going to be installing a new septic tank. It's going to be a little bit of a tricky install, working around some beautiful fruit trees and some flowering choke cherry trees, but our guys are good and they'll make it happen.
Thank you, appreciate that.
Okie dokie. Got a design squared away. Got a plan moving forward. Rock and roll. What a beautiful property. I was just telling Mariah on the phone, I said, don't go to that property unless you want to pick up a taste for a beautiful lakefront property. Little private lake. Absolutely gorgeous. That water was like blue and pristine. Super deep. Just dive right off that dock there. Pretty cool. You know, technology and the magic of editing and cinematography is a pretty fascinating thing. For example, I really want to go on a quick hike. 3, 2, 1. Oh my goodness, that was a good hike. Thank God for AC. My truck says it's only 73 degrees outside, but I'm pretty sure it's lying. I think it's 5 million degrees out there. It's gotta be. Whew, good hike. It's not very high in elevation, but once you go look at the cliffs up there, those stairs climb those cliffs all the way up. Pretty rugged, good stuff. All right, guys, well, that's gonna be a wrap for today. Thanks for hanging out and watching. Seeing what we're up to. If you haven't already, click that subscribe button. Do it now. Don't miss exciting new content coming out. Have a good day.